Today, we're taking a dead cordless drill and dragging it into the 21st century. The battery's toast, so here's the plan. Rip out the worn out NIMH cells, drop in fresh lithium-ion 1865Os, wire up a 3S BMS to keep them all in line, and convert the original charger so it can actually feed the new pack. All of it on a shoestring budget. When we're done, this old drill will have double the capacity, less weight, and enough bite to embarrass tools twice its price. Let's get into it. We all own that one beloved cordless tool that just doesn't hit like it used to. Those old school NICD or NIMH cells have aged out, gone weak, or quit on you entirely. That's exactly the story with this DeWalt cordless drill. The battery won't take a charge, won't power the tool, won't do much of anything except sit there looking guilty. Odds are a few cells inside have worn themselves into early retirement, but I like this drill too much to toss it. So we're going to modernize it on a budget. First, a quick voltage check, and yeah, that number is sad. That's the multimeter equivalent of a sigh. Confirms my hunch that this battery is cooked. Let's crack the case and have a look inside. Nothing dramatic in here, no smoke, no melted drama, just an honest production date that tells the whole tale. This pack soldiered on for more than 10 years. Honestly, respect. Most things in my workshop don't last 10 weeks. Before we go any further, I want to rescue this connector. I'll desolder all the wires and grind off the spot welds so I can reuse it later when I assemble the new pack. Waste not, want not. And also, those connectors are weirdly expensive to source. The new cells. Like I said, the tired NIMH cells are getting replaced with lithium-ion. I'm using Samsung INR 18650-25 R cells, rated for 2,500 milliampere hours of capacity, and a healthy 20 amperes of continuous discharge current. These were spot welded before, which you can already see from the little battle scars on the terminals. Now, I bought these as genuine reclaimed cells from a trusted seller. Here's the deal. These come from battery packs where a welding error got flagged, so the packs were disassembled, the cells tested, and listed on the secondary market. They might have a bit of cosmetic damage, but they've never actually been charged or discharged, and the internal resistance still matches the datasheet. Translation: genuine Athene 650 cells, fully within spec, for about a 30% discount. I paid $3 a cell instead of $4.50 for new. Same cell, less money. That's just smart shopping. The one small annoyance is the leftover nub from the old spot welds. Easy fix. A few seconds each with a rotary tool and a grinding disc, and they're smooth again. To keep everything tidy, I designed and 3D printed a simple holder for 6 cells. The plan is a 3S2P configuration. In plain English, 3 groups wired in series to get me to 12 volts, and each of those groups has 2 cells in parallel to bump the capacity up to a maximum of 5 ampere hours. 3 times the voltage, 2 times the storage. Math that actually works in our favor for once. To make it fit inside this little case, some trimming was in order. And this odd battery shift here, that's me dodging the internal ribs of the case. On closer inspection, it almost looks like the manufacturer accidentally designed the perfect enclosure for a conversion like this. The cells barely squeeze in, but they squeeze in. And there's even a sliver of room left over for the connecting tabs. I'll take the lucky break. Before joining anything, I checked that all the cells sit at a close voltage. You want them matched before they're married. Same as people, really. To hold the cells in that shifted shape, I made a quick jig out of scrap wood because the best workshop tools are usually the ones you build in 5 minutes from a pile of offcuts. I added a few extra insulators on the positive side, then spot welded everything with 0.15 millimeters pure nickel strip. Parallel cells first, then I tied those 3 groups together in series. And if I did my homework right, this should read around 11 volt. A touch low, only because the cells aren't charged yet. There we go. 11-ish volts. Homework complete. To keep those 3 groups balanced and protected through every charge and discharge, I'm using this 3S40A BMS module. It's built for a 3S pack, handles 40A continuously, and can take short 60 amp peaks without complaint. Quick but important heads up, out in the wild, you'll find 2 nearly identical looking 3S40A BMS boards, and only one of them is the one you want. You're after the version with a balancing function. The other only offers overcharge and over-discharge protection. The easiest way to tell them apart is right here. The balancing board has 3 chunky resistors on it. No resistors, no balancing. I'll drop drop a link to the correct one in the description so you don't have to play spot the difference. Quick pit stop before we keep going. If this is your kind of Sunday, hit that subscribe button. It's free, and unlike this old battery, it never wears out. One by one, I soldered the pack terminals to the BMS board. Then before wiring up the output, I soldered a pair of thick wires to that connector we rescued earlier and glued it into the case with 5-minute epoxy. 5 minutes later, give or take the time it takes to make a coffee, both terminals were soldered and the battery was ready to button back up. Since I trimmed a couple of the holder posts to make room, I patched those holes by gluing in some shortened bolts with CA glue. Looks intentional now. We'll call it a design feature. And that's the battery conversion done. At this point, you could charge it with any smart charger or a constant 12.6 volt supply and call it a day. But I don't want a day, I want the whole setup. So let's convert the original DeWalt NIMH charger into a proper 12 volt lithium charger too. Out of all this internal spaghetti, I only actually need these two connectors. The rest can go. To speed things along, I evicted the old components with a heat gun. Everything I pulled out gets replaced by this lithium battery charger module, rated for 12.6 volts and 2 amps of charging current. I cracked open its case and harvested the electronics I need. Before wiring anything in, I cut all the circuit traces around the points where the new board will connect. Even with a heap of components already desoldered, there are a few stubborn ones left that'll cause trouble if I don't cut them off permanently. Trust, no trace. Next, I desoldered the old 2-contact LAD charge indicator and replaced it with the 3-contact LAD from the new charger circuit. To relocate it cleanly, I gave it 3 extension wires so it could reach its new home. A few drops of CA glue and a couple of plastic spacers later, the new charger board is mounted for good. Last job, solder the power in and out terminals. The in terminals don't care about orientation, but the charging terminals absolutely do. Those have to follow the battery's polarity or things get exciting in all the wrong ways. Work's done. Time to reassemble and test. It powers up, green lights on, we have life. Pop the battery on and it starts charging, which it announces by changing the LED color. After a while, that green indicator tells us the charge is finished. Let's verify. 12.6 volts, fully charged, exactly as promised. Beautiful. Before the real test, I did a few small touch-ups and labeled both the modified battery and the charger. Future me will present me for that. The moment of truth. All right, let's put this thing to work. Wood screws, a piece of cake. M10 drill bit, not even breathing hard. M25 Forstner bit, it would have gone all the way through if the shavings hadn't clogged up the bit and tapped out before the drill did. So really the drill won that round. Was it worth it? In my case, a strong yes. The drill's got all its muscle back. The capacity jumped to 5 ampere hours, double what it had before. And the new pack is about 30% lighter on top of that. More power, less weight, and best of all, it was done on the cheap. The lithium charger was $6. The reclaimed Athene 650 cells came to $18. And the BMS was $6. A worn out drill brought back to life for the price of a couple lunches. I'll call that a win. If you enjoyed this, drop a subscribe. It's a lovely thing to do, and it costs you exactly $0 and 0 spot welds. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.